Hey everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Albums, and this is your Paper Stash Smash video for August. I only had two 6x6 paper pads in my stash, so I am fortunate to say I've smashed everything I planned on doing for August. It sort of was a low key month for me because I was doing a lot of traveling. So anyhow, I did have this Spooktacular in my collection. I've already made a mini album using the 12 by 12, so I was able to use some 12 by 12 papers and smash all of that. I only have a little bit left over because I'm waiting for a die. At the time I'm making this video, I'm going to go ahead and record it without it, but it's not a big deal. So anyhow, this is Echo Park Spooktacular Halloween. I'm looking to see if it's got a date. 2024. It's not that old. Ooh, I like that. So let me show you what I made. If you remember, in July, I made a tutorial for a 6.5 by 6.5 mini album. When I'm making mini albums, I like to make more than one and just keep them in my stash so I can fill them easy. So I already had one made of white. Let me show you what I did with that. So I have the 6x6 paper pad from Echo Park called Spooktacular Halloween, and I have a 6.5 by 6.5 mini album already made. Now it's white, and I'd rather do black for Halloween, but we'll remedy that in a little bit. I'm showing you what elements I have. So the first page has two flaps, then second one has a flap with room for a cut apart. Same with the, so the way it is page 1, 3, and 5 have two flaps, 2 and 4 have room for cut aparts. These are what I have left of my 12 by 12 collection. I have one full-size sheet. I just never used it. I had those stickers you might have seen previously. And then a couple of larger pieces. I also have small pieces. I end up using them to make flowers. I have a couple of 3x4 cut aparts. And also there are cut aparts in the 6x6 paper collection. I'm having problems ripping off the cover, and the first page when I tear it out actually tears. I mean, you've got room at the top where the hole is for the hanging thing, but usually they come out a little bit easier, so I'm trying to like pull the pad apart so it's going to be easier to take out, and it doesn't rip easily from the back cover or the front cover, so I'm just doing my best to pull it. I don't know if they changed how they package or they added a lot of glue to this one. I have no idea. But what I want to do is pull out all of the papers and organize them so I can start figuring out exactly what I'm going to use for this paper. So again, it's 6x6. It's got the same patterns as the 12 by 12, but of course in a smaller size. I'm pleasantly surprised to see that one piece way up, well, I moved it, but it was up in the top left and it's got a cut apart sheet. Well, they are 3x4 cut aparts, so, and this one is not 4x4, they're 3x3 cut apart. So they're not teeny tiny, is what I'm trying to say. Whoa, don't know what happened with my lights. I'm trying to rectify that. So there are 12 sheets, 2 of each design. I love that pattern. I don't know if you can see it. It's got pumpkins and trees and ghosts there. It's a little better there. There's the ghosts. There's the trees. I just love it, although it sort of gets lost because it's so small. And I love that stripy pattern. The coffins I love, but I also have a little bit left in the 12 by 12 sheet. So it's a fun collection. It's got that mint green, which to me is really unusual for Halloween, but I like it. I think it's fun. So now I'm going to double up on the ones I've pulled out. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12 sheets, 2 of each design. or 12 patterns, 2 of each design for 24 sheets. So once I've pulled it out, now I'm going to try to match up patterns and see what I want to put together. So I know it looks like one big mess, but I will match them up. So there are 5 pages. I need the outside front cover and the outside back cover and the inside front and inside back. But generally, the back I just make with scraps. So if I can just get 6, so that's inside front cover, page 1, back of page 1, front of page 2, etc. If I can get 6 groupings, then I will be happy. And I don't use all of the paper. I end up having 2 left over, but I will make photo mats with them. And really all I have at the very end, by the time this is all said and done, is some of those strips at the top with a hole in it. And I really couldn't even use them because there was so much glue on it. It was less than 1/4 of an inch long, so I end up tossing them. Actually, I don't toss them. I put them in the pile to make a fire. No, I'm not going to roast s'mores. I am going to cook a spaghetti squash tonight. All right, I have covered the book with black cardstock. So I made the book in white, and now I've taken black and put a layer of black on the front covers, the spine, and the inside pages. So I like it because now when I put on the 6x6 pages, there will be a slight border. You can see it on that cut apart, the black little border around all the pages. It'll just add a little extra something. There was a lot of room. I don't have very dimensional things. See, look at how that paper looks great on there. So I like that pumpkin page opposite the pumpkin cut apart. So I'm going to just, see, that's what it looks like on the white. I guess that's what I'm showing you. And it just doesn't have that same oomph as having that black tiny border. So anyhow, I am going to start putting things on. All right, I want to show you this page. So when I cut the paper, and I cut it 6 1/8 by 6 1/8, I cut a square hole out of the center. I use that for the cut apart matting, but you won't see that hole because once I put the paper on it, you just don't see it. So I did that out of some of the pages, not all of the pages. And it utilized all of my papers and reduced some of the bulk. I also moved some of the magnets to outside on the black cardstock, so that way it's closer to the outside. All right, so what I'm doing is starting at the front, just trying to figure out where things are going to go, and I just lay the papers. I've already sort of separated the papers and matched them up. So again, I've got the pumpkin here, so I want the paper that coordinates. Oh, there's a different pumpkin. All right, so I put that one, and the black and white skeletons I think looks good with that paper. That says boo. It coordinates with the cut apart. Here's that mint green. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the mint green. I decided to go with witchy legs just because there's the witch and there's the witchy legs. Do I want to do anything with the houses here? No, I'm going to stick with the witchy legs, and then I'm going to go with the ghosties with that mint green. And then I'll add the witchy legs onto that little flap just to coordinate it. Do I want to use that pattern on that pocket? Because I love that pattern. So that's just my thought process between figuring out where everything goes. All right, now I'm going to work on the cover. For the cover piece, I did use that paper from the 12 by 12 collection for the very front cover. I have this cut apart that says Happy Halloween. I'm using a small corner rounder to round the cut apart, to round some white cardstock, which is just 1/4 of an inch bigger, and then the black, which is 1/4 of an inch bigger than that. So I'm rounding all 3 of these. Teeny little tiny corner rounding. I just wanted to show you how small that was. And I'll go ahead and glue these together. I hope it's not too distracting, all the birds in the background. I am camping in Vermont. It is a beautiful day. It's early when I made this because we're traveling in August. So it's really the middle of July, and it's gonna maybe hit 80 degrees. I know you guys in the lower portion of the US are probably baking right now, but we're having very nice weather up here. Teeny little margins on that. Okay, I did not glue down this paper. I use my ATG, that's what that little line is, and I use that just to just put it there. So now I've got this paper. It's probably about 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, and the other side of it has the witchy legs. So I'm going to cut one stripe of those legs off, and I'm going to put that on the top and then put the orange on the bottom. It's actually orange with little skulls on it, but it's so tone on tone you can't really tell what it is. So I will go ahead and glue this to the bottom. And the witchy legs will go on the top. So I was thinking, what way should the witchy legs go? Because some of the bats, or one of the bats, is with the feet sticking up. I'm going to do it with the legs sticking up, just because that makes more sense in my mind. And it matches with what's on that little tag. Now I've got this little stripe of just lines. It came from that stripy paper. I'm going to add it onto this coordinating cardstock. I'm going to put it onto the dark orange. I'm going to cut a little bit of that off so that the stripes, the lines, are probably about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut this about just 1/8 bigger, and then there's enough room, I'm going to put it onto the light green, the mint color. I didn't have very much in the way of stickers, like a long sticker left, and I noticed that when I had cut the stripy lines, I didn't cut it very straight, so that's what I'm doing, is cutting it a little bit straighter. So anyhow, I'm going to have this to separate the witchy legs from the orange skull paper on the bottom. I don't always do it, but I do like to have a stripe separating the two papers. So anyhow, I'll go ahead and cut this down, glue everything together, and put it on. And then I'm going to go in fast motion and glue the pages into the book. Some of the cut aparts, I already have the flaps on the page. There are others that I don't have the flaps on the page, and what I plan to do is cut it or score it at 5/8 of an inch, have a 1/2 inch piece of paper on it, and have the flap sort of showing. You'll see. Here's the back page. No, I'm sorry. Here's the front page. There's a line. I do like it. I do think it looks good. And yes, there is that gap in the middle that's going to be covered with the cut apart. It's going to go up fairly high. I'm planning on putting a little flower cluster down on the bottom left-hand side. I haven't made the flowers yet because what I'm doing is waiting to see what scraps I have left, and I'll make flowers with dies with all of the scraps. So for the very back page, I am taking the rest of that one piece. Now if I didn't have a 12 by 12 pad, I just would add another layer using the 6x6 paper, or using cardstock, maybe another piece of white cardstock or maybe an orange, and then that would be enough to add the 6x6 paper. So there's the back. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the very back. I am going to go ahead and start to glue everything down now. I'm going to speed this up a little bit because watching someone glue things is probably not that exciting. But, I mean, some people are curious about the process. I guess the biggest thing to tell you is I do ahead of time try to figure out the papers and match them together. I just make small piles, and it's not hard and fast. I can change my mind and add or delete different things, but that's just generally how I put my books together. I'm going to show you in just a second that flap that I was talking about. So I cut the paper about 3/4 of an inch bigger, and then I put 5/8 piece of black cardstock on it with, in this case, the orange and white stripe. And so that's glued down. Oops, I don't know why my desk is shaking. That's glued down, and then I've got the little magnet on to keep it down. Now I'm going to cover the magnet, add a little swirl of glue, and there we are. So it's just an extra way of putting it down, and then I'll go ahead and glue down all the other papers. So after I get everything glued down, then I start going through the book and just looking at what papers I have and starting to look at a couple of different embellishments. I'm looking at the book that I did previous to this, wondering if I can pull any of the embellishments. See, I used a lot of the stickers in this one, and I don't have as many stickers left, so I'm going to have to be creative with what I have. Like those two faces, I can fussy cut those out and put them on. The moon, I have 2 of those, but I also have a moon sticker. I have some of the cut apart. Some I could maybe fussy cut some of the elements out, but other ones I will add to the book. Just trying to get a hold of what I have. I do peel off the cover of my sticker sheet. That's what I'm struggling with right now. Everything will stay down except for that witch because I've already pulled her up a couple of times. But I feel like that's the easiest way to see exactly what you have left. The outlines, it just makes it cleaner in my head to see. I'll use most of those stickers. By the time it's all said and done, I won't have any stickers left. All right, we're going to take a final walkthrough and show you what I have. So the big thing is I put this flower cluster on the front. I don't know if you can see all of the little details in here. So there's a couple of witchy feet. I just printed these out on my printer. You could print them in black and white and just color them with a marker if you wanted to, or just if you have a sticker or fussy cut some page, whatever. I used some dies to make the flowers. This is a Scrap Diva die. I think it's the fringe die. I don't remember what die this is, but this is what I used my scraps for. This actually is a digital collection. It's the black and white flowers from Tracy Reed. I just wanted a little something to brighten it up. I have more flowers. I have a spider web that I cut out on my Cricut. I cut a leaf. It was like a skeleton leaf, and I cut the outside of it with glitter paper. I don't think you can see it, but anyhow, it's there. On the flowers, I added some enamel dots to the very center with hot glue. So I just like to have something a little extra special. I like the witchy feet. I thought that was a lot of fun. I mean, it sort of goes with the cover. Anyhow, so inside I made a belly band. This is just glued down from an extra piece of paper. I am going to add more tags. I have just a couple of pieces of paper. Like this. I didn't use that, so I can use that for a tag. So anyhow, I am going to use this for tags. I'm waiting for a die to come in the mail tomorrow, but I wanted to do the walkthrough today to get it all done. So here's this. I don't think I explained very good how I did this. It's just one piece of white cardstock. I cut this to, the black paper is about 1/2 inch by 3 7/8. The orange stripe is probably 3/8. And I don't know, just glued that part down and made this so this would come up. There's the magnet here, which corresponds with that page. So anyhow, that'll open like this. One of the things I will use my tags for is because I have a tuck spot up here. I didn't add a lot of photo mats to the pages. I added a couple, but I could have added more and decided just not to. I fussy cut a couple of the ghosties and added them onto here. This could go like this and like that, or it could go like this and like that. We'll go like that. By the way, these are hidden pocket pages, and I do not have photo mats for them. I've been just not putting them in lately. I don't know. Couple of photo mats so you can add pictures to the back to go in the pocket. There is just one of the border strips on this orange and white striped paper. I added pockets just by putting it on black cardstock and gluing it onto 3 sides. I didn't score it or anything. I call them cheater pockets because they're cheater pockets. Okay, and this was an original flap. I took this piece from the striped paper and just made a side loading pocket, almost a little tuck spot to put this little journaling card in. Another cheater pocket with a cut apart from the 12 by 12 collection. So this was left, it's one of the 3 by 4 cut aparts I have, but I didn't have a flap, so I just glued it onto this large flap, and that'll open like that, and that'll open like that. And again, I will use this to put some tags in when I am all done with it. I did add a photo mat here. I took one of the pumpkins from the sticker sheet and cut it out, put it on white cardstock, put it on black cardstock, fussy cut it all, just because now I've got the pumpkins here. I covered up a lot of these pumpkins, and that's why I wanted to add an extra one. I just thought the color of the pumpkins was pretty. So I liked this because it's got the pumpkins, which coordinated with this, and it's got spider webs around it, which coordinates with this paper. Again, no photo mats. Love the colors of this spread here. So this was the original paper. I liked this cut apart. This was that stripy paper I liked. And then this was a cut apart again from the 12 by 12. But if you don't have it, if you didn't have the 12 by 12, you certainly could just use a cut apart. This is from the 12 by 12 too. I liked having the 6 by 6 collection with scraps from the 12 by 12. I know a lot of people in our Smash Your Stash collab will purchase the 12 by 12 cut aparts to go along with 6 by 6 paper pads. And I think that's genius. So I fussy cut some of these coffins and made that a tuck spot. This is also a tuck spot. Again, I'm waiting for the tags, and I'll put that in. And I know I should show you what it looks like, but I don't know how much I'm going to be recording for the rest of the week. I am getting ready to travel a little bit, and just want to get as much done as I can. So anyhow, there's that. There's that. There's that. That's the pink coordinating paper. There's the orange, and I like that. So you know this is one of my favorite papers. It just looks like a patchwork until you get closer and you see those are pumpkins, those are ghosts, those are tombstones, but you can't see it in the camera, I don't think. There's that stripy paper from the 6 by 6 collection, and I had a border. I think that came from the 6 by 6. That is all on a cheater pocket. So here's where I was starting to use some of the scrap paper. This is from the 6x6 paper, and I just glued it on two sides, and there we go. There is the back. I did not put anything else on the back. Should I have put a sticker or something? Maybe. But, I mean, it's pretty by itself. There is our witchy feet, and there we are back at the cover. So that is how I smashed my Halloween spooktacular. Is it called spooktacular? Yeah, I think so. Oh, there it is. Spooktacular Halloween 6x6 paper pad for my August Paper Stash Smash video. That is all I have for 6x6 paper pads. I hope we don't have any more 6x6 months to smash, or else I'm going to have to buy some. And I think the whole point is to use what you've got. So anyhow, I'll figure it out if that happens. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fabulous day.